Welcome to another episode of Ask Dubey. This show is a presentation of Bet365. Whatever your bet is, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Download the app and get in on the game. Use the code NATION, Bet365. Must be 19 or older. All right, well, we'll get things going. Talking about a big win last night in Ottawa for the Oilers. Things weren't going overly well for them. A lot of issues, little defensive issues, and they're having a tough time scoring. And they got kind of a little bit of everything they needed last night. Connor McDavid got a goal, which we obviously knew was coming. He's going to contribute regardless, but he wants to score more goals, and he scored a real nice one last night. Isaac Howard getting his first NHL goal. That's exciting for him. Hopefully more to come. And Jake Wallman being back in the lineup, scoring a big overtime winner. So all good things. Stuart Skinner, another strong game. I think he's played well this year. I think he's been more consistent, even in the games that they were losing. Difficult games, some major defensive turnovers that when you're not getting high volume shots and those plays that you're seeing that are beating you are really major breakdowns, it's difficult. But I think he's done a good job of sticking with what he's doing, and that was a great game for him last night. A lot of big saves. And again, just a little bit of everything the Oilers needed to get back in the win column and get feeling good about themselves. So hopefully they can keep it going this week. And we'll get to the questions here. The first question is from Liam Horobin. Did Ryan Jones know how big of an impact he had in Edmonton? That's a great question, and one I'm happy to answer because Ryan Jones is a good friend of mine. He actually lives about 20 minutes away here in Minnesota. So unfortunately, I don't get to see him as much as I'd like. Kid's busy. He's actually has his own home building company, and they build beautiful homes here. So he's extremely busy, but we still talk all the time. And I don't think he does know how big of an impact he had in Edmonton. He's a humble guy, hard worker, and I think that's what everybody loved about him in Edmonton. Is he went out there. He was a personality, had a great personality. And did everything. Edmonton's a blue-collar city, and they like hard workers. And what is Ryan Jones? He's a hard worker. He did everything you could ask from him. He could score goals. He would fight if he needed him to. He'd hit. He'd kill penalties. You could throw him in front of the power play if he needed to. He had a little bit of everything, and had the long hair flowing behind him while he was doing it. So I don't know, when I was back in Edmonton in the finals, and you hear people still talk about him. I don't think he knows. Maybe I'll send him this clip and let him know how big of an impact that he's getting questions sent into my show, asking him if he knows. But great player, great person, still close family friends, and we basically both came to the Oilers at the same time and ended up side by side hotel rooms when he got picked up on waivers and I was just starting. So that's how we became fast friends. And I'll send him this clip for you guys and make sure he knows. Next question from Kellen Nitro. How far back does a goalie go when studying film? Do you limit yourself to the season at hand? Good question, and kind of depends. If you're looking at film, trying to look at the other team and tendencies of the other team, you probably want to stick with the season at hand and kind of as current as you can get, because that's going to be their roster and how they play and what their lines are. I didn't do a ton of watching another team for their tendencies. Maybe a little bit of power play, which you're going to get in the team anyway. For me, it was you're watching yourself, studying your own video. So you can do a wider range, on that, where you can watch seasons past. Obviously you change the goalie and you grow, so you can't go too far back, but, you kind of want to, if you're looking at other teams, keep it recent. And if you're studying yourself, you can go a little differently. And I'm not sure if other goalies do like to look at more teams. I think video is a really, really good tool, for goalie coaching and getting into goalie coaching myself with the Dubey development now. It's a great tool when you're trying to explain something to somebody and for them to be able to see it and see what it is that you're trying to show, even if you're showing them another goalie, but just clips of themselves in seeing them do it one way and then showing them what it looks like when they do it the right way or do it how you're asking them to do it. The camera and the film is really, really helpful for that. So That's really what I did. Most of my video would be going over games, looking at plays, looking at saves, goals against, what would I do differently, what's working right now that I want to continue to do, and really trying to catch, for me later in my career, I think the consistency came from being able to watch games and start to catch negative trends before they got me in trouble. So it wasn't necessarily lose a couple games and try to go figure out what's happening. It's just consistently watching video. And sometimes you can be on a little roll and some negative, just like a team, negative trends can start creeping into your game that don't necessarily cost you right away. You might still be getting away with it because things are going well and bounces are going the right way and you're still winning games. But it's important to catch that so that maybe it's just one off game and you get back on track, or maybe two, but not 3, 4, 5, where it really becomes a slump and then things get a lot more difficult. So video was really, really helpful for me that way, finding consistency and being able to play 65 plus games for a bunch of years in a row. On to the next question from Keaton Bodez, Bodde. I'm going to say Zed. I've been living in the States for a while. It still pains me to say Z. I got to work on saying Z here, but I still go to Zed, so don't worry. I still got the Canadian Zed in me. What does the All-Star break look like for players that don't get named to the All-Star game? Can it get pretty rowdy? I'm not selling any secrets here on what guys do and on their breaks. The bye week is a really nice thing, the way they work that in. Things are changing now. Obviously, no All-Star game last year, no All-Star game this year. So the times are changing. I think the Olympic break, that 2 weeks, certainly a bigger window to have a little more fun, maybe travel a little further distance. Before, earlier on in my career, the All-Star break was just a weekend. So sometimes it was almost a little forced even to go anywhere, even though you would, but it'd be Scottsdale or somewhere that was easy to travel to. But the way they attached the All-Star game to the bye week, everybody kind of got a week. So it opened up opportunities for you to go elsewhere. And then again, this Olympic break in February, you get 2 weeks. It's such a great opportunity to go soak in some sun somewhere and have a couple drinks. And guys usually will find, a couple guys, friends, wives, families, whatever, and pick a destination and go there. So as far as how rowdy it gets, maybe a little more rowdy than normal with the 2 weeks. You get a little time to recover, but everybody understands we've done it enough. You know where to draw the line, where you have to start tapering off, where you got to start getting your health back in order so that when you come back, when you do come back, the Olympic break's a little different. You get a few more practices, but a lot of the times you're coming back into maybe a practice if you're lucky, sometimes just a pregame skate in a game, over like a Christmas break too, for that matter. So you got to make sure that you're not, you're not feeling like crap for 2 or 3 days after that. You gotta know and know how you need to be taking care of yourself and make sure you're not wasting any games. And but I'll tell you what, in a long 82 game season, it is very, very nice to get away somewhere for a little bit. And I think it's very rejuvenating for guys as well. Next question here from Thomas Burwash. What kind of superstitions did you have when you played? What did a game day routine look like for you? I was not a superstitious guy. I learned this in junior to not be superstitious. I had a strict routine. I wouldn't say strict. I had a routine, a game day routine that I would go through all the time. And routine and superstition, I think, are two different things. I feel like the superstition side, you feel like if it doesn't go your way, or you don't do it, or you touch a red line, or don't step on the ice with the right foot, that everything's going to go wrong for you. And I don't think that's necessarily a good mindset to have. I know a lot of great goalies were very superstitious, but for me, I learned in junior hockey that I can't be superstitious and I need to learn how to be flexible with my preparation, because we would sometimes be on a bus for 6 or 7 hours in winter weather to get to a game that day. And there were times that you show up and you got to put your stuff on and go out for warm up. It wasn't often. Most of the time you got there in the right amount of time, but you can't just throw a game away and because your routine wasn't perfect or your superstitions didn't didn't go the way they needed to, especially when travel and everything is like that in junior. So that kind of helped me going through my career. I think when I think of, I guess, quirky stuff, it's not really quirky because all goalies had it, but my kids actually know my exact routine when it comes to every time there was a whistle, I'd take a drink of water, tap my post in a certain way, do a certain loop, tap my post again, and I had the exact same thing that I did every whistle. And I knew I did, and it was just something, like, to me, that was a routine that made me comfortable. Now, if there was a whistle and I wasn't able to do that, it wasn't going to throw me off. But I did it every single whistle, and like I said, to the point that my kids could probably go on the ice and do it for you. Warm-ups, same thing. Again, I'm not, this is nothing out of the box. All guys have their same routines. Trying to think of, I liked eating at the same place on game days. I think after pregame skate, I really liked pregame skates, especially when I was playing a lot. If I didn't need to go on the ice for a practice day, if we were, especially in the second half of the season, it was important for me to really prep during that pregame skate and make sure it was a good hard 15, 20 minutes. But, my skate would be 45 minutes, but 15 to 20 of shots. You go out there, I would stretch, do the skate, but then after I had a whole routine of things I would go through myself on the ice, different stretches, different things with my eyes. And then after, I would go off and do a Normatec for leg recovery, usually watch some video with Bob Mason, with our goalie coach in Minnesota, and just kind of hang out and relax and then get on the bus and go and do that. So I didn't have anything super quirky as far as game day routines, but we are creatures of habit, and you realize after actually you're done playing, more looking back on how crazy it was, the amount of things that you would follow day to day. And that's just, they're things that make you feel comfortable in a high stress environment like hockey, and day in, day out, and you're playing in front of 20,000 people. You got to find these routines and things that make you feel comfortable. So I certainly had a few myself. Well, that's it for another episode of Ask Dubey. Thanks for tuning in. Hopefully the Oilers can continue what they're doing, get on a little winning streak here, start to see all those things we're looking for down the lineup. As always, make sure you get your questions in, either using the hashtag AskDubey on all social media platforms, or drop your question in the comment section below. If we don't get to it on a show, we are banking all the questions, so we will get to it eventually. This episode brought to you by our friends at Will Hawk Beef Jerky. Only the finest tasting meat products earn the Will Hawk name. Made from 100% pure Alberta beef, Will Hawk Beef Jerky is aged, seasoned, marinated, and smoked to savory perfection. It is so good. Will Hawk Beef Jerky gladly fills orders of any size. Find their beef jerky, sausage, and other products exclusively out of their Leduc location, or you can order online. Get your jerky on. For more info, go to willhawkbeefjerky.com.
What's up, Nation citizens? If you like that video, then you need to be subscribed to the Oilers Nation YouTube. Podcasts, live shows, exclusive interviews, and analysis. Everything you need from your favorite voices at Oilers Nation. And you don't want to miss any of it, so hammer that subscribe button.